Can you hear me?
Oh, welcome in, everybody. Sorry about that. Hey, we're having a thunderstorm here, and I noticed that everything was glitching here. So I think my connection is acting funny. So I'll say it in the very beginning here. Should we get disconnected? That's because we're having a thunderstorm here in Southern Florida. And I have closed everything up because it was lightning and boom crack-a-lacking, and I can't be dealing with all that or whatever. Girl, it a thunder and lightning, and then the sun.
Wow.
So welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining Thursday Vibe Session with Yaya and Liz. Thank you so very much, Liz, for coming back to have a discussion again this Thursday with me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So let me welcome some people in here in the chat. African Dreaming, I don't know if you're in the chat now, but you were the first ones in and left a nice message, said, hey, Yaya and Tim. So if you're here, thank you guys so very much. If not, I know they are in Tanzania, so I don't know if it's daytime or if it's nighttime there. If it's nighttime, then they probably trying to get some sleep. So, but I thank you for dropping a message. And Lashes Journey also dropped in early. So, hey, sis. Hey, Joshua. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Welcome in, Don's people. Thank you. Thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate you dropping in this evening. Hey, Grammys Journal. How are you doing? How are you? Good to see you. And Roxanne 59, how are you? Thanks for stopping in. I will be seeing you in about a month or so. She's coming into Florida, so we'll get to do a meetup. Oh, you trying to get in still on your laptop?
Yeah, girl. Let me see if it'll let me.
Oh, okay. I see you. Oh, okay. Let me add her from the laptop. You got in? Liz? Okay.
I don't see
You
you.
there?
See me?
I see you. Yeah, you're moving a little. Yeah, you're moving. Say something. It's glitching. The phone wasn't glitching, but the laptop is glitching a little bit. But I'll let you work on that. I'll keep welcoming people in. So yeah, Roxanne, good to see you. Hey, Planner Garden says hi, Yaya's Best Life in chat. Thank you. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you. Welcome in, Dr. Destiny. Thank you. Thank you so much for stopping in as well. Hey, Queen. Hey, Queens on the panel and chat. Thank you, Unbiased. Appreciate you stopping in. Okay, she's trying the laptop again. Got it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna work that because it's too much interference. Yeah.
Well, we'll test that out.
Later.
Yeah, on your laptop. So I welcomed everybody in that's in the chat. Thank you guys all for stopping in to Yaya's Vibe Session tonight. We appreciate y'all coming in. We got a couple topics for tonight. Our original topic that we wanted to discuss is just about gender differences on household chores, which are rooted from our childhood. But then I realized that today is Mental Health Action Day, May the 18th, and I didn't realize that. So I wanted us to kind of chit chat about that and have some discussion around that. So if everybody drop in the chat, the question of this evening is, what are you thankful for this day, May the 18th? So drop that in the chat, and I'll try to catch your comments here as we start our discussion on mental health, and which I think is very, very important. Many of us, if not all of us, probably in some way has been touched by mental health, be it with someone in the family, in our family, or even ourselves. Liz and I were kind of going over things for this, for the show tonight, and we were talking about mental health. I was saying to her that I remember back in the day thinking mental health was something like, you just, it was way off the cuff, you just had to really
Mhm.
falling apart. And it's not really so much that. Mental health has to do with the fact of
Do you want some?
Mhm.
that if you're depressed, I'm sure, yeah, you know what I'm saying? If you're
Right.
depressed, if you're feeling sad, you could be going through something or something is
Right.
happening in your family. That's
Mhm.
your mental health. And
Right.
growing up, it was always like, somebody had to be cuckoo or something like that, that you refer, that's, I mean,
Right.
speaking, telling the truth, I was
Exactly.
that something was wrong. And it's not that.
Not that
It's
deep.
that we have to be aware of how we are feeling and
Mhm.
our self health, mental health, and
Right.
be aware enough to know when we need to do some self care. Your thoughts,
Having an
Liz?
outlet. Just having an outlet, like we were discussing, having an outlet, period. Not just, I know people think I'm crazy because I think out loud. I talk out loud to myself. I don't care who's in the room because I just have to hear myself, go over something. So some people don't have that, as an option. They bottle it in, they keep it in, they internalize things so they don't know how to work through or function through things. So it might come out in so many different areas. And by the time they do get it out, it's some ugly baby. I know that Carla, in our early stages of our friendship, she, helped me out very tremendously because I had just had a baby and I,
I'm Carla,
needed an
y'all.
outlet.
Just in case for you guys that don't know my government name, that's me.
I'm sorry, yeah. And she took me to the spa, and it's called the Naked Spa in Seattle and in Everett,
It's called the
Washington. But
women's
yeah,
spa. It's called the women's spa.
okay,
But
but everybody there
honey,
know it
take me
as
in
the
there.
Naked Spa, and it is the most transforming spiritual place you could ever go. And it is like formulated by Korean Christian people. That's the foundation of it, and it's beautiful in every way, and it's just the most instrumental place to relax and just let it all out. You can see people from all walks of life and all demographics, and it's just relaxing, and I needed it more than I could ever have known. And I mean, ever since then, every time I get a chance, I will go there. I don't even live out in that way anymore. But I swear, if I'm ever in Washington, that's where I will be going. And that for me, it just took a load off. Even my husband, he was jealous at the time. My husband at the time was like, "What? Why you always want to go to this place?" Because, oh my gosh. And that for me was something that I needed. And you don't know what you don't know. So,
And absolutely. And
mhm,
and that's one of the things about mental health is um, not only try to be aware about yourself, but usually when someone either in crises or someone is going through something, they're not even aware of it because they're in survival mode and they're trying to just make it every day. So we
mhm,
as a people, we as a friend, we as a BFF, we as a family member, one thing that we can do is be aware of mental health,
mhm,
be able to reach out to that person. And as you
mhm,
said, you had just had a baby and blah blah blah,
mhm.
and we became friends and we were chatting and things, and it's like, I think that this would be something really nice for her. And
Oh,
that was something that you found. And in my life as well with
mhm,
Liz, I've gone through some things, and her and I have talked, and she was there for me. She knew my
mhm.
mental health was in jeopardy
Right.
and was able to give me good words and say, hey,
Mhm,
it's okay to cry, it's okay to break down,
mhm.
and she was there to put her arms around me and hold
Yes.
me. So mental health is real. And
Mhm,
today is mental May the 18th. Today is
mhm.
Mental Health Action Day. So
Amen.
not for your, and the other thing is, if you are going through something, or if you are feeling stressed, if you are feeling angry, if you are
Mhm.
feeling frustrated, if you are sleeping a lot, if you know you want to say something, reach out.
Yes.
Reach out to a friend, reach out to a family member. And if you can't do that, then reach out to a third party, but
Mhm.
reach out. And I'm going to put the mental health, the suicide 800 number in the
Mhm.
description field in this live. But yes, do reach out. So
Mhm.
you guys drop down in the comments your thoughts as
Mhm.
well. I'm going to drop over here. For those of you that just came in, the question for this evening is to put in the chat what you are thankful or grateful for on this day, May the 18th.
Mhm.
And so we have some comments in here. Welcome in, Don't Hurt the Harvest. It's good to see you. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for stopping in. I appreciate it. Let's see. Unbiased, where is that at? Oh, here we go up here. Queen says, I'm grateful for being alive and being lazy today. Tomorrow will be a better day in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Absolutely. And I am glad that you are grateful for being alive today. That is mine as well. I'm
Mhm.
so thankful that I woke up this morning. And you know what? Being lazy is a positive, sis. Absolutely
Mhm.
a positive, and it falls right in line with self-care. Would you
Yes.
not agree? Absolutely. Sometimes we do need to be lazy and just take care of ourselves and sit back and chill. So
Mhm.
thank you so much, Unbiased, for your comment. Don People,
Amen.
Don People says, I grateful for God's grace and mercy. Absolutely. Thank you
Praise
so much.
God.
Abaya says government names off limits.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. And I don't say it that often, but yes. And a lot of people do. Yaya, aka Carla. That would be me.
Mhm.
But everybody know me as Yaya.
Okay.
And so everybody's speaking. Oh, some more comments. Grammy, still talking. Um, Roxanne says, what is this place? Sounds like fun. Liz and I both used to live in the Pacific Northwest, and we worked through we met through our job and of the same company. And but there is a women's spa in Tacoma, Washington, and that's what it's called. It's called the Women's Spa, and it has about what 5 different jacuzzis of different heating levels. You got your sauna, you got your steam room. It's a Korean spa. You can get massages there. You can get body scrubs. You can get facials. They have rooms where you go in that have that smell good, and they are different heating levels. And you lay on the floor. Some of them have candles in there. Some of them have soft music in there. What else, Liz? Some are like really, really hot, and everybody gets a robe and you get 2 towels. And when you're in the water area, everybody is just butt naked. And it's really clean. I remember when I first heard about it, I was like, I don't know about going to no spa. Everybody laying around butt naked or whatever. And then finally, I went with a friend, and it was the most, as Liz said, it was the most liberating place to be. And they're not up in there, everybody looking at each other. It wasn't like that at all whatsoever. Them women was in there to get their relaxation on. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Right? Shoot.
Absolutely. It
So
was
that was, yeah,
beautiful.
that's what that place is. So I'll be going back to Seattle in July. So every year when I go, I try to get me a date with
Yes.
my friend there, and we'll go to the spa. And my mom, she's a real prude, and even my mom
Mhm.
he took her there. She went, so she really enjoyed it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's see. Any other comments here? Don't Hurt the Harvest says, I'm thankful for seeing another day. I'm thankful for the Creator giving me health and strength. God's amazing grace. Absolutely. Thank you so very much. And Joshua said, oh, did I click on it? Oh, what am I doing? Oh, there. I love your name. It's beautiful. Thank you, Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I missed a comment up here, especially water and vitamin D, sunlight. It's good for mental health and wellness. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it is so much. So if you guys have any comments, please put them in the comments field regarding mental health, and we'll come back around to that. But our other subject or other topic that we wanted to talk about tonight was gender differences on household chores rooted from our childhood.
Right.
So, what do you guys think about that? The chat. What was it like in your home growing up? Um, oh, Liz says you put it in the private chat, baby.
Oh,
That's why I just saw. I was like, I got a private chat. I am thankful for life more abundantly. Absolutely.
okay. I don't know how to put it in the other chat.
So our second topic for tonight is gender differences on household chores rooted from our childhood. So you want to go first?
Sure. So I want to say, how things have, so shifted, I'd say, from how we grew up. We talk about, things like how we stayed outside all night. And, I have children that won't even leave the front door. It's this, scare tactic. Every time you talk about the news and, we talked about social media last time I was online about, everything is, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, nobody wants to, go outside and play, and if they do, it's like, you have to have a entourage of, I guess, maybe some henchmen or something, because it's always, something going on. So with that, I'll say with the gender differences of today, you know, me and Carla was just talking about, who did what back then. Back then we, children, the girls, I know us girls, we were taught everything. And Carla's household, maybe they had more of the ladies did this or the guys did this. And these days it's, kind of cross pollinated because, us women, we kind of been self-empowered. Maybe not because we always wanted to, but just because maybe we had to, or who knows,
So
whatever
you
the
came up
circumstance.
in when? What's your generation? Because I'm a little older than you. Not
Um, I think mine was X.
see, so
Mine,
I came up in the 60s.
uh-huh. And so I was born in the 70s, so
So
came up
70s,
in the 80s.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 60s, still, it was pretty defined then. It was like, well, in our household, and I was in a two-parent household.
Mm-hmm.
My dad worked, my mom stayed at home. My mom
Mm-hmm.
didn't work until we like really became teenagers. And
Mm-hmm.
there's six of us. But
Mm-hmm.
the boys learned they were to how to fix a window, do those type of things, about how to work on the car, change the oil, change the tires, mow the lawn. Us girls had to clean the kitchen, um, clean. My mom was like really, really nice. And she was, when I, as an older adult now, realized that my mom was very overwhelmed because she had four girls, but she didn't really push us a lot to do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But in that generation, coming up in the 60s, girls did this and boys did that.
Mm-hmm.
Boys did the more masculine type of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I came up kind of in the cusp where, after a few years of the in my lifetime, early on,
What?
women, that's when women was burning their bras and throwing, taking their bras out.
Oh.
We are women,
Mm-hmm.
hear me roar, and started to want to work outside of the home.
Right.
But for the discussion tonight, talking about these in our household, yeah, we had to do the cleaning and all that kind of stuff like that. My
Mm-hmm.
dad didn't push us to, like, we liked mowing the lawn. We could do it as
Right.
we would, like I said, but I kind of came up on that cusp where we could go out there and mow the lawn, but I still came up in a generation like my parents, where girls did this and boys did that. I
So
see
defined.
I see here in the chat. Welcome in, Wellness with Frugal Mama. Thank you so very much for coming in. We had a couple topics that we were talking about. Today is Mental Health Action Day. So we just had a discussion around mental health and how we can help ourselves and how we can help others in our family if need be. And the question for this evening's live is, put in the chat what on this day, Thursday, May the 18th, that you are thankful or you're grateful for. So if you feel comfortable, please go ahead and put that in the chat. And welcome in, my sis Lashes. How are you, sis? Thank you so much for coming in. There was some comments here. Oh, here it is. Grammy's Journal said, my mom always rotated our chores.
Mm.
So, and Grammy, was that rotated your chores as girls, or the girls and the boys? It didn't matter the gender didn't matter, girl or boy. She just rotated the chores in your home. Let us know that. Roxanne says men cut the grass. Yes. Yeah, my brothers, they had to cut the grass. Absolutely. But when us girls got a little older, we was out there cutting the grass too. But I did come up with the time that, yes, that is the way that it was. Just Josh. Oh, welcome in, Just Josh. Thank you so very much for stopping in. Thank you, thank you. What's up, Yaya? The crazy part is that women now are still trying to live like the 60s, but without the cleaning and enjoying this conversation. Okay.
We got DoorDash now.
Oh, is that what he means?
We can order in now. I had to do all the what do you call it? We clean that yard. We had them little scissors to cut them bushes. We have all the big old calluses on our fingers and our hands. We had to do all that yard work now. And paid our dues.
Now my dad did have a garden, and us girls had to be out there. And back when I came up, you guys, there were clotheslines, so we didn't have a dryer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had to be out there hanging up the clothes, and I can't remember my brother's name really. I think it was really us girls' responsibility to do that. But just Josh is down here laughing. I see
right. Yes.
But with all that said, we just thought that this would be a great conversation to have, because now today things have changed. Now, when I raised my son, but my son was lazy, and I kind of did, he was rotten, he was spoiled. So I'm not really a good person to say about, and he was the only child. But I think I did try to get him to, do cleaning and washing, but that was just to pick up behind himself. We have a number of children in the home. It wasn't so much that was the way my parents did it in the time that I came up. It was just about him really taking care of himself or whatever. But but I was not one of those mothers where I was just doing everything. When he got a certain age, he had to learn to wash his own clothes. Right. Because he was a boy and he was nasty, and I didn't like touching his stuff anyway. So I hurried up, and I hope he ain't on the live tonight.
Right. And I'm with this Josh.
And teach him how to wash clothes. What did Josh say?
Yeah, I would judge Josh talking about we all learned how to do it together. I mean, that's how I taught my sons. We I cross pollinated them. I wanted them to leave the house knowing how to do everything, so they didn't have to depend on nobody and wouldn't be fussing about if a woman cooked or not or whatever. You know how to do it yourself.
Right.
You ain't got to worry about nobody.
And it wasn't that my dad didn't know how to cook. He knew how to cook, but you got to think too. My dad was born in the 30s, and so was
Right.
my mom then. So yeah, they definitely had that role play, that
Mm-hmm.
gender bias.
Right. Like
That
on Eddie
the
Murphy.
man was
Whatever you
masculine.
like.
Yes. What you say, Liz?
Oh, that coming to America, whatever you like. Like them days is over. I am not groomed for you. You
Right.
better do it
Absolutely.
yourself.
Right. Absolutely. Welcome in, Coach Mary Ma. This is one of my new membership members. Thank you so very much for taking your time to come in. We're just having a conversation tonight. We had an earlier conversation around mental health because today is Mental Health Action Day. So we talked about mental health and how we can be in tune with ourselves when we know that, we need to talk to someone, um, or we need to have some self-care and take time out for ourselves. And then we talked about being aware about our friends and our family members and checking in on others, checking in on our friends if we see them possibly be in some type of distress. So we talked about that. And our other subject for tonight was just talking about gender biases, how we were raised, that were rooted in our childhood. And so I was sharing that I came up in the 60s, and it was a pretty fine line, or a hard line, that me and my sisters, we learned to do what was considered women things. And my brothers learned to do what was considered men things, like working out in the yard, working on the car, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had a sister, she loved to climb up in trees or whatever. She could beat
We
all
a
the boys in the
tomboy.
neighborhood up to, we had this big willow tree. She could beat all the boys up to well, they was mad.
Mm-hmm.
She was a girl, and she
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to be able to beat the boys out. And then I had one sister
Right.
that could run real good. Girl, we had to fight in the neighborhood because the boys was
Yeah.
trying to beat her up because she would beat them. You know how in the street, and
Yeah.
you be having the races. And that was Crystal.
Oh yeah. I
Beat
could
all
see
the
her
boys,
doing
running, and they would be mad or whatever. So we grew up in our childhood with a lot of biases.
it.
So
Mm-hmm.
now we're in the discussion of talking about how things have changed.
Right.
Liz was sharing how she has raised her boys.
Yes. Yes.
And
I
what did you
mean,
call it? I like how you said you cross-pollinated them.
right. I mean, and even when it comes to child rearing, I told you about my cousin and how they, switched roles with her going to work and, her husband raising their children. And to me at the time, I was like, oh, so he just gonna lay up there in the house and ain't gonna take care, pay no bills, and she gonna go out and work? Like, how dare he? And later on, when I guess I became evolved, it was more of a, you know what, I wouldn't have had a problem, if, you could take care of the house situation. I don't have to worry about doing both. I can concentrate on one thing, and I can rest assured and come home and, know that everything is taken care of. By all means, do that. um that's wonderful. That's a wonderful commitment and union if that can happen. So I would never have a problem, if that was a situation, if people can get along in that atmosphere of not thinking that a role has to be a certain gender. It's just a commitment as to, hey, I do this best and you do that best, so let's just choose which one we do best. I even told you that, I'm not one to really necessarily take care of a car. That doesn't mean that has nothing to do with what gender I am. It's just the fact that, put gas in it and roll. you know
Right, right.
I think Ricky Smiley had some one day talk about Happy Woman's Day and had showed a cracked something, a rim on the car. But I was like, oh Lord, because I just had gotten my rim fixed, right? Because I'm like, how do you avoid it? It's, I tear up my car all the time, but that's just not my thing. But guys, most guys, they relatively like doing that. And hey, if somebody want to take her the car, take her the cars.
Right.
I could take her to other stuff.
But the point to that is, if a girl, a woman, a female wants to
Hmm.
do those things,
Right.
time has evolved us where
Right.
that's not looked upon as what's wrong with her. Why she wanna,
Right.
want to do that. For those that just came in, the question for the chat is to put in the chat what you are thankful or grateful for today. And Roxanne says, I am grateful that I woke up today. I still miss
Amen.
my husband. Thankful for the memory. Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely, Roxanne. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much for. But yeah, so does anybody think that there's anything wrong with, as Liz says, cross pollinating what I call them are actions? Because like I said, I came up in a time where, women had started burning their bras and everything. So they wanted to do everything. They wanted to work outside of the home. They wanted to
mhm.
learn how to change a car tire. Women started wanting to be independent. So when I was in my early 20s, it was about do it yourself.
Right.
That's kind of how I was. It was like, either do it yourself or either pay for it yourself.
Mhm.
I was not going to whine and cry and expect that a man had to change my tire for me.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
learned how to change the tire,
Right.
or I went and paid for somebody to change my tire,
Mhm.
so
Self-sufficient,
self.
which is good. Yeah, my sister, she goes and sits in those car washes and does her for, her and her wife, she does that all the time. I was like, who wants to sit at the car shop every week? That's not me. They now have it where they're, satellite car places that come and take care of your car at the house. I was like, why don't you just call the people and they do it while you're at the house, I don't have the patience to want to do that. So you're right that people are different and we have evolved. And for that, wonderful. I still expect if I have someone with me that they will hold the door open, you
Yeah.
know, don't slam it in my face. You're looking out for me as I will look out for you.
Um,
Uh,
on that subject of what you said, absolutely. Now
mhm,
today, I never had an expectation for anyone to do anything for me, but like Tim likes doing that.
mhm,
And the whole thing with putting titles on, I just kind of got a little thing about putting titles on people,
okay.
because it just depends on the situation or whatever. I mean, sometimes I don't expect him to hold the door all the time. Now he holds the door a lot now because I done got so OCD, and he know when we go somewhere,
I don't want to touch it.
he knows I don't, how I am. He knows I don't really like touching on the doors or whatever.
I
So
use my
he
shirt
pretty
or a
much,
sweater.
he be on his P's and Q's about if we go in a store or whatever, and it ain't one of them doors that open on their
Yeah,
own.
that's me.
I stop like, and he always opens the door, but then I'm quick to always be putting hand sanitizer all over.
Right.
So, but we got this little thing. We know that about each other.
Mhm.
What I'm saying. And then there are times when we come in or whatever, it's not always that he let me go in front of him or I let him, sometimes
Mhm.
you you know. So it's I like the way it is today. You can just
Yeah.
be yourself,
Right.
and whatever your relationship is, everybody just takes care of everybody. That's the main thing. What I always
Right.
say, and a lot of my discussion is find balance
Yes.
in
Yeah.
life, right?
Amen. I like that.
What do you
Fine
guys
balance.
think in the chat? Come on, y'all, let me know. I could be way off cue. Hey,
I
Pastor
hope
Marion.
so.
Hey, Buddha. How you doing? She says she's in the background working. Okay, Buddha, I appreciate you coming in. Pescatarian says, good evening. I've been listening and I'm driving. I'm at a red light now. Great topic. Be careful. Thank you for listening in. Hey, African Dreaming, how y'all doing? Thank you guys for being the first ones in. I saw your message.
Oh, I like that, Coach Mary Ma.
Go ahead. What was it?
She said my mom was different from those times. Thank God. Maybe because she had 5 boys and 3 girls. All my brothers cook and did chores. No gender specific chores. Hmm. I love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, David Corey, how are you? He says, hey, Yaya. You know what? I don't know why my husband, he calls every Thursday and he calls on Friday. Oh, he finally hung up. He be forgetting I'll be on a live at 6 o'clock. We work at night, so he forgets that I'm on the live. But hey, Urban, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in. There's Coach Mary Ma. Finally, Liz was further down than I was. Yo, gender specific chores. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I came up when there was. But you know what? I wonder if a lot of it has to do with geographics as well. I don't know. I think it has to do with Liz, are you froze? Yeah, I think she froze. I wonder, I think it has to do with time. You know, when we were, you know, like I said, I came up in the 60s. And I think also it could have to do maybe a little bit with your geographic location, possibly. I don't know. And we are all a product of our environment. So however we were raised, that's what we keep passing down. Okay, let me see. There.
What happened?
I don't know, but you're down here twice. Oh, there you are. You froze. I was saying, what do you think, Liz? I was saying, I thought, could it be when you were born? Could it be a person's geographic location as well?
All of that, Southern, like Southern hospitality. There, we call macho machismo. Men want to be very specific as making sure that their women is taken care of, financially in those aspects, which is awesome. We want to make sure that we're taken care of too. I guess it just gets to the point you say no to something. And it's like, well, what do you mean though? I'm not a child. I don't want someone to have a cap on something that I can or cannot do. And so I guess that's when it comes to, gender specific things of taking care of or willing to do things for myself. Outside of that, when we were talking about, even when it comes to the dating situation, you had mentioned that someone was like, oh, I want somebody to pay for my date. And it's like, hey, some women would prefer to go Dutch because the expectation at the end of the date may be that there is an exchange. And I would never want to put that out there that we're going to exchange anything after the date. So we just going to go Dutch, and we'll eat the meal together.
Especially when you're dating and say it's a get to know.
Right.
To know that's a choice. I'm not a believer, as you said, that because you are a man, that you have to pay for my food.
Right.
Fall in love with somebody that don't have a whole bunch of money.
Right.
So if you share it, then I think that that's okay as well. But if you want someone to always pay for you or whatever, then that's a whole nother topic, and maybe we have to have a discussion.
Yes.
I feel some kind of way about that as well. But Urban Garden says if both people are working, then the chores need to be a team effort. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. But back in the day, it was not so much that way. Men went out and worked. even when my mom finally did go and work outside of the home, her responsibility still was taking care of us kids when she got home, cleaning the house. We were older then and we were supposed to be helping out. I can remember my dad saying then, you need to get them girls to start cooking more. I think I told you this story, but after we burned up some food a few times, burned up some beans and gave him some chicken that was half cooked or whatever, he didn't say nothing about teach them girls how to cook no more.
That's the best way to do it, though. Be like Philly on The Color Purple watching Mister. Look, I'm gonna be in that rocking chair playing with my braids. I am not finna cook.
No, you didn't, Liz.
Yes. If you mess it up good enough, you ain't got to never be asked to cook.
Cook to do nothing, right?
Yes, yes.
It's too
But I
funny.
mean, you can't even say that's back in the day, Carla, because there's so many different cultures that still expect that. You do realize I was married to, my ex-husband was, from a an islander culture. And, even though my current husband is, and they still have those old ways of thinking. And I worked a 9-hour job and came home and it was expected that I still would do something. And I'm like, Negro, I work just as long as you do and make more money than you. You expect me to still come home and do stuff? Nah, I'm good. You know, they don't still value you as being their equal. They still see you as you still supposed to do your womanly duties. And I'm like, ain't no womanly duties, bruh. You know, again, I produce as much, if not more. So I really, there is no wind in that.
Absolutely. David Corey, what's David sitting now? Is he crying or is he blowing his nose
Who?
on this comment?
Okay.
Something was said. I think that's a blow your nose.
Oh, okay. David Corey was blowing those. Maybe that's me you crying. Wham, wham, wham.
I
I
got
don't know.
Urban said, yep, coming home and still running the house is expected. They get to sit home and do nothing. Absolutely. That's what my dad does. He did. I mean, he read the newspaper. I remember, coming up the hall,
Mm-hmm.
read the newspaper. My mom had came in. Well, back then, crock pots had just come in. So when we got home from school, she would call and say, hey, turn that crock pot on or whatever. But still, she had to do everything when she came in and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it wasn't because my dad is a good cook. Now, my father now is 85, 86. It's totally different. So time does change things.
Mm-hmm.
He cooks all the time, he's in the kitchen and
Right.
does all the cooking and stuff. But I'm just saying, yeah, in the 60s when I came up, it was not like that.
Mm-hmm.
We learned to cook as early 8, sometimes younger, and that's normal in my culture.
Mm-hmm.
To do with child labor or abuse.
No,
Absolutely.
that's absolutely not. I think I
And
was that age. Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, we didn't when I was a kid, didn't
Mm-hmm.
cook, but my son, yeah, because times had changed, and he was born in the 90s, early 90s, 94. And I hurried up and taught him how to use the microwave and put him some
Right.
ramen in there because I wasn't going to be doing all that.
Okay.
So that just kind of show you how things kind of
Exactly.
time changes things.
Yeah. My daughter's 6. She know how to go in there and throw that pot pie in the microwave for 4 minutes. She will say 4 minutes, right, Mama? Mm-hmm. 400.
Oh,
They know how to cook. It's okay. We ain't starving them.
nope, 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 nope,
I
nope, not
love it. I
at all,
love it.
at all. But what a wonderful conversation, Liz.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you brought this topic to my attention, just to kind of have a discussion
Mm-hmm.
about it. My has time changed things,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I think it is for the good.
Yes. Yes. It's always for the good. And the fact that we, can come to a consensus of that, everything doesn't have to be, so one sided or with, if you want those things, then you have them. They're there. If that's what type of person you want to be an ally with, like, they're out there. You don't have to conform or shape or change or mold anyone to be that anymore. There
Yeah.
are women out there more than happy to be that, traditional person that wants to just stay at home and, do those things. They might not live in the United States of America, but they're there, and it's just like those traditional men that are out there, and that's all they want to do is work and, bring in the bread, and you want to, do the same thing. So it's like everything is, you get a taste of everything wherever you go, and we can live happily ever after. It's not a thing about trying to force anybody to do anything these days. Whereas back in the day, it was just so hard to try to, make those things work.
That's just
And
how it was. But I think it's a disservice
mm-hmm,
um, that both genders, because if you live by yourself,
mm-hmm.
you have to cook and you're gonna have to clean,
True, true.
right? So if you're in a household and in a relationship, or if you're raising your children or whatever, you want to raise your children so that they can be self-sufficient.
Right.
If you are in a household, in a relationship, um, Tim knows how to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I did retire or whatever, he kind of had this little grin thing going on, like I was gonna do everything. And
Domesticated.
I do, I pretty much do now, but it's because I am at home. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like, but I do have an expectation. If you're the last
Mm-hmm.
one to get out of the bed, make the bed. Don't just not do anything, because
Right.
if I go before you,
Doing that.
I want you got to be able to, you still got to take care of yourself. So that's how we kind of work things around here or whatever. Now, when I wasn't retired and I was still working or whatever, then we shared those responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And he did things, of course, around the house and stuff. It wasn't just put on me. Well, we all did, me, him, and Philip.
Right.
So, but
Even out the playing field.
huh?
I said, even it all out.
Yeah. So time does change things. So,
What's this fun in it? We turned on me and my sisters, it was three of us. We turned on the music, the 108, whatever, Magic 108 back in the day. And we've had a ball, it was fun for us. And so it wasn't a fighting time or something that we argued about. It was, relatively enjoyable. Um, I don't know why it wouldn't be. I think when it's kind of forced out of you, or something that an expectation, when you evolve into other relationships, then yeah. But other than that, yeah, you just pick and choose what you want. I think that it should be as easy as that.
yeah, yeah,
Like, what you want to do? What you want to do? I'll cook. Like, about.
right.
I think Chris cooked, and I didn't have to. I was like, no problem. I'll do laundry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So just keep loving on each other,
Yeah.
and life is good. Thank you to each of you that dropped in the comments what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for
Hmm.
on this day. And Liz and I appreciate you guys coming
Yeah.
and chatting with us and giving us your thoughts. And
Hmm.
most of all, do remember that mental health is very, very important. And make sure you check on your friends, check on your family. And if there's something that you can do to help, or in some way that you can guide a family member if necessary, or a friend, um, then do that. Step up and do that, because we
Right.
all living in a pretty rough time now. And we all go through a lot.
Right.
So, and don't forget, mental health is just not like somebody is what a person might think they're just off their rocker. It
Hmm.
could be that you're just going through life and you're tired.
Mhm.
You know, you could have gone through something and lost someone. You're sad.
Mhm.
That ties into your mental health as well.
Right.
Get depressed and you can get down. And I've always said that mental health is such a fine line.
Mhm. Mhm.
Remember, Liz, we've talked before. It's like you
Yeah.
don't even know you're really over on the dark side.
Mm-mm.
Because when you come back into the light, you be like, oh
Wow.
my goodness.
Yes.
I was on the dark side.
Yes.
Not the dark side, meaning you was doing something crazy, but you were on the dark side of depression.
Yes. Yes.
All, as you used to say, curled up in the fetal position,
Yes.
playing with lips. Been there, done that,
Right. Yes.
you know.
Yes. I wouldn't welcome anybody there. Yes.
So make sure you check on your friends. Fifi said that's an important part. Yeah. We always have conversations about when that time comes and one of us leaves. So we both do everything as much as we can. Sometimes one is better than the next. Absolutely. That's what
Mhm.
I do that. And that's not to be, um, morbid or anything like that. I
Mhm.
want him to be able to take care of himself when I'm gone. And
Mhm.
there's things that I need to do if should he go that I need to be able to take
Mhm.
care of. So that's just life.
Right. Right.
So we got to keep sharing with each other.
Right.
So
I
any
keep going.
final comments, Liz? So that was my final comment about mental health and
Mhm.
being thankful for you guys coming in and talking about this gender differences.
Mhm.
Uh, I learned some things tonight, and
Mhm.
sometimes you think that everybody kind of thinks the same way or we're in the same situation, and no, they weren't. No, they
Right.
weren't. And lifestyles are all totally different. So it's nice to have these conversations.
Mhm.
That way we learn from each other. So this
Yeah.
is our dinner table that we're sitting around and having a good conversation and finding out new things about each other. So I turn it over to you, Liz.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, yes, yes. I'll say that a lot of my things that I use, my manipulatives would be, having good walks, in open areas. I definitely like using, forests and walking trails that help me a lot mentally. Just to work it out with a good, music. Gospel was my thing, or something to just smell the air and being out there in nature was so good of a tool far as working out my mental health. Working out was a great, manipulative as far as just getting out of my own way, talking it over with God. Whatever your higher power is always just structure and having just say it out loud, hearing yourself. Some people are not the exchange person to where they feel like they trust other people or want to say it out loud because you can't take it back and then people, may use it against you. But have that conversation with yourself. I write little notes. I put it on a mirror to try to say it back to myself that God prospers me and he takes pleasure in it. And I repeat it back to myself. So these things help me with any mental health that I have. I'm now a year and 6 months sober, and it was a long journey, me going through all kinds of crazies with having to, move out of my 10-year, home and, going through divorces and just having to rechange my entire life. It took a lot out of me. And when Satan thought he defeated me, I came out a champion. I believe I have. And it took Carla, my family, and all of heaven to make sure that I didn't go under. But I'm letting you know that mental health thing, it's for real. And in any given time, I could have just veered off into the medium of the road. But I'm letting you know that, all of heaven is praying for you and your ancestors. So you always call onto something higher and you take the challenge to say, you know what, I'm invested in me and I'm going to live to see another day.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to let this thing beat me. And you see somebody else going through something, you take their hand and you hug on them and you love on them and you make sure that they see the next day as well.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. That was very good what you just said. Hey, Odom, how are you? Good to see you. So, yes, again, I will put the mental health hotline in the description box. And we thank each and every one of you for coming and joining in on the conversation this evening. This was a ball. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
And Liz and I will be back again. She told
for
me
sure.
she enjoys this as well. She's a lot better at it than I am. We'll have to share with you guys. We will share it. Maybe that'll be another topic that we'll talk about your book that
Hmm.
you wrote.
Oh,
And yeah, so we'll do that. We have a book writer before us. So yeah, I forgot about we'll have to talk about
well,
that and
that
let everybody get a chance to invest in some good hot
tea.
spicy reading.
You so funny. Okay.
As I say in each and every video and live, time is our most precious commodity.
Hmm.
So make sure each and every one of you value your time, spend your time wisely with yourself, your family, and those that are closest to you. And until the next video and the next live, you guys take care of yourself. Happy Friday Eve. And
Yeah.
if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you in a day or so here. I'll be putting out, let's see, I got to put out my video for the week of what healthy foods that I cooked and ate today. I had a good meal today. So
Okay.
make sure you guys watch that video. And most of my videos now are about my healthy eating. So I'm really pleased with that. And I like the type of food that I've been cooking. So thank you for all your well wishes, your good comments to me about how you like my presentation of all my food now.
Hey.
I enjoy that so much. So as Odom said, stay blessed, everyone. Fifi said,
Mm-hmm.
stay blessed, everyone. And you guys all as well. So we'll see you guys. Deuces, y'all.
Deuces.
Bye, y'all.
Bye bye.